All right, hello everyone. Good to be here. I am Kyle, AA0Z, and we're going to combine two topics today. I called and said, hey, I want to do a presentation about Missouri QSO Party, and they said, we could do one better. Why don't you do contesting and Missouri QSO Party? So that's what we're going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do general contesting topics, and I'm going to relate it to the Missouri QSO Party, which is coming up April 11th and 12th of next month. So here we go. So let's talk about what is a contest. I'm sure that if you've been on the HF bands on the weekend, you have heard those pesky contesters. They're probably getting in the way of your POTA activations. They're probably using a lot of power and calling CQ over you. That's us. So sorry from the contesting community, but there is a contest going on every single weekend, probably dozens of contests going on every single weekend. So let's talk about what is a contesting, or what is contesting. What?
One just started tonight.
One just worldwide, CQ Worldwide just started tonight. You're right. So basically a contest is a group of people come together, they make a bunch of rules that say, all right, operators need to make as many contacts with other operators around the world and confirm those contacts for points and multipliers. They come up with a score. You submit your score to a committee. They verify that you guys made a contact, kind of like in POTA. Well, actually, I take that back. POTA is not really confirmed. The activator just submits a log. But both parties submit a log. They are verified with one another. And then all of those QSOs are basically counted. And then you get a final score. And then somebody wins. Now there's other classifications that you can enter in contests. That's one of the hardest things about a contest, is figuring out what category you're going to enter in beforehand. The big contests that are like this weekend, they've got many categories you can enter in. The Missouri QSO Party, we only have 5, but we've got subcategories within that. So it all depends on what category you enter in determines sometimes your prizes, sometimes your power level, sometimes your mode, your band. So if you want to enter in a contest, make sure you read all the rules to understand what categories there are, because you have to operate the contest in that category the whole time, okay, to be valid. Typically a QSO, a conversation between two operators, consists of a call sign, a signal report, and an exchange. The exchange could be anything. It can be your name, could be, like in the Missouri QSO Party, we're going to exchange the county that you're located in, if you're located in Missouri. If you're located in another state, let's say Michigan, that person is going to send Michigan as their exchange. If they're overseas, they might send their country, but that's counted as DX because we don't count countries as multipliers. So there could be a whole slew of things that you could send as an exchange. That is the piece of information that basically verifies that you made a QSO, right? You might get a call sign and you might hear that they're 5'9", but if you don't get their exchange, you can't log that QSO in your contest log, okay? Each contest consists of a set of rules. So I took over Missouri QSO Party this year, and the nice thing about running a contest is you get to make your own rules. Now we have a committee, and we talk about what rules we're going to change and what rules we're going to add, but contest sponsors get together and they make their own rules. Now, there's pretty much a set standard rules that you have for contests, so they're not all that different, but you can get creative to say, You know, you're not going to allow FT8, or you're going to make FT8 a contest within a contest, or if you operate during certain times of the day, you get more bonus points, or whatever the case may be. So it all depends on what the contest sponsors decide upon. There is a contest committee through the ARRL, the CAC. I forget who is the president of, I think it was Craig Thompson. I'm not really sure who the CAC president is, but anyway, they have a contest committee that meets, I think they meet monthly, and they talk about all the ARRL contests. So ARRL sponsors contests throughout the year. There's worldwide contests, there's local contests like Missouri QSO Party, there's regional contests, there's a whole bunch of different contests. But the ARRL is one of the large committees that they talk about contests, they talk about the rules, they modify the rules. So you can go on the ARRL site and figure out who God, I can't remember his name. I could see his face. He just went on the expedition. I'll remember it in a minute. Is our contest committee representative, and he's also the president. I can't remember. Anyway, and then also, like I said, winners are determined by submitting logs. They're adjudicated. They're verified. They're all put into a database. A bunch of SQL commands are ran on those QSOs, and then they spit out a score, and those people win. And it can be by category. It can. Is your mic on? Yeah. Oh, yeah. It should be. Yeah, it should be. Yeah, I turned the light off by accident. Yeah. And so they adjudicate the QSOs, and they declare winners in all the categories. We have winners in the Missouri QSO Party. We have winners in the categories. We also have winners in the state. We have a winner, somebody overseas, that's DX. They also can win. So we have a bunch of winners. Usually winners get plaques for the major categories. Sometimes they're just certificates. And it all depends on what the contest committee decides the winners get. Like in California, they give out wine, and they give out cheese in Wisconsin. So, where to go find what's going on the weekend? So let's say you go out and do a POTA, and you hear a bunch of contesters calling CQ. You can go to contest calendar. That's the website. And it will pull up something that looks like it was made in the 90s, which will be this. And this is the calendar. Bruce Horn, WA7BNM, I believe this is called. Oh, it's over here. WA7BNM, yeah, over there. He's the one that maintains the contest calendar. This has every single contest known to man, and he keeps it up to date. This is a very good place to go to figure out what contest is going on.
Is that a .com or .org?
It is a .com. Yep. And then you can figure out where, here's CQ Worldwide. I just took this screenshot. So this is CQ Worldwide WPX contest single sideband, and we are in March 29th. So we're right here, and it has just started. You can see it's a 2-day contest. So you can go on this website, figure out what contest is going on, and then you can click on the name of the contest, and it will bring up, I know this is very hard to read, but it will bring up a page. Well, it will tell you, well, this is Missouri QSO Party, it will tell you all of the kind of the things you need to know. Now, it's not everything you need to know. You need to go out to the Missouri QSO Party website or the contest sponsor's website, download the rules, and figure out, read through the rules and figure out what's going on. But this gives it this website or this page gives you a very good idea on what's going on. It'll also give you the exchange, how many points things are worth, the different categories, max power, the times, the bands, so it'll give you a good overview. There's also another term that we use loosely called what's a QSO party? What's a QSO party? And basically it's a it's a term that says it's an organized contest. There are many QSO parties in the United States. Usually, all of the states have their own QSO party, but some of them get combined. The Northeast has a combined QSO party, so that's NAQP. I called it NEQP. So that's Connecticut, Rhode Island, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, and that's the first weekend of May. And then 7QP decided to do their QSO party the same weekend. That's Washington, Idaho, Oregon, New Mexico, Montana, Wyoming, Utah, and Arizona. But some of those states have their own QSO party. That's also the first weekend in May. Delaware and Indiana are the first weekend of May. So if you really want to work a bunch of states, the first weekend in May is the weekend to get on, because there's 12 states, 13 states there that are on all call and CQ. But like I said, almost every state has their own QSO party. Just like Missouri, we've got our own QSO party. There's also NAQP, the North American QSO party. That is all the states, all of Canada, and that's it. So that is single sideband, RTTY, and CW. Those are independent contests. Each one of those modes has an NAQP twice a year. There's no signal reports given, but you say your name and your state or your Canadian province. So I would be Kyle, Missouri. I can use any other name that I want as long as I'm consistent throughout the contest. So I could use Kevin and Missouri. But be aware that once you do a contest, your name and your call sign, your call sign is probably going to be put into a database where you will get spammed. Where you will go into a database where other contesters will be able to download this database, and the fields in their contest log will be pre-populated on what you gave the last contest. So if you run NAQP single sideband as Kyle, Missouri, and then next year I decide to be Fred, well, some of them are gonna populate with Kyle, and then I'm gonna have to tell them, no, I'm Fred this year. You'll also notice that people, if there's a silent key that is, who's had a history and who is well known in ham radio and they become a silent key, a lot of people, a lot of the operators for NAQP will use that name to honor that silent key. So, don't always assume that what comes up in what's pre-populated in your contest logger is what the exchange you hear on the air. Just a tidbit of information there. All right, let's talk about Missouri QSO Party. So it's April 11th and 12th. Whom, any operator, so it doesn't matter where you're at, can become the hunted. But the cool thing about Missouri QSO Party is everyone in the United States, in the world, are hunting you because you're in Missouri. They're trying to contact as many counties as possible, so you become the hunted. So there is, as you become an HF operator, you'll notice that there are contest bands and there's work bands. The contest bands above 6 meters, unless it's a VHF, UHF contest, really don't get used that much, but 6 meters, 10 meters, 15, 20, 40, 80, and 160 are the contest bands. You can work any mode except for the FT8, the JT protocols. We are working on that. We are going to, next year, we're going to make FT8 a mode that you can enter in Missouri QSO Party, and we're going to take all of those QSOs and put them in one bucket. So everyone is operating or competing against other people that are doing FT8. So it's not going to count as your regular points, but it's going to be a contest within a contest. Why? Why do we do this? We do this for fun. We do this for bragging rights. There's a lot of competition that goes on in contests, so we do it for fun. But also, we do it to get new contesters or new people, new operators that just got their general license. This is your first toe that you can dip in the water for contesting. I'm sure that a lot of you have done POTA, right? You POTA operators that have run a pileup and called CQ and activated that POTA, you guys are gonna fit right in if you're not a contester, because it's the same rush. It's the same amount of QSOs. It's the same type of thing. The only thing that you're doing is you're giving out an exchange instead of maybe your POTA number. So you'll fit right in to contesting. This is why I love POTA, is it's making contesters out of the average person that goes out and activates a POTA, but you don't know that you're becoming contesters with POTA.
What's a POTA?
A POTA is parked on the air. That's another presentation.
He'll go next month with that one, right?
Yeah. If you,
Next month.
come back next month, somebody will do POTA. But anyway, the basic concept is you call CQ or you search and pounce, right? You're tooling around the band, seeing if you can hear anybody that's calling CQ Missouri or CQ contest. They're probably going to be in Missouri. Send your exchange, send your call, send your exchange. Do the normal thing that you do for swapping QSO information. You're going to log it into your logger. You're going to hit enter. It's going to go into the log. You're going to export that as a Cabrillo file, and then you're going to send that to the Missouri QSO Party website. And if you go to the Missouri QSO Party website, there's a submit your log. It comes up with a form. You can upload your Cabrillo file, which is basically just a text document. Upload that, put in some information, you're done. That's it. So let's talk about where you get the info. This is the URL for the Missouri QSO Party website. So, the Bears, the Boeing Amateur Radio Association Club is not going to sponsor the QSO Party next year. We're looking for a new sponsor. In that process, the website resides on their homepage. So we're going to decouple that. I have registered MOQP.net. So if you go to MOQP.net, it'll go to the Bears website. That will be the new home for it. But if you need information, go to the website. That's where all the information is at. You can also go to the Facebook page. I know, don't growl at me, hang on. You can go to the Facebook page and get information. That's where people kind of ask questions. That's where we're fielding different topics, making sure people are getting their questions answered. So there's a lot of discussion over there. But I understand that not everyone has Facebook. So what I'm doing every month, and then every week, starting next week, on my YouTube channel, just type in it, my call on YouTube, I'm doing State of the Unions on my YouTube channel, where I'm talking about all of the questions that were asked on Facebook, any rule changes, things that you might want to know, tips and tricks. So I'm going to record another one next week. I'm going to put it on the YouTube channel, and that will be a way that you can get information too. These are also, let me show you down here. So if you go down here to links, this is the home page. If you go down to links and MOQP News, that will, if we have anything major to announce, it will be there. Right now, it's just the links to the two videos. That will answer 95%, hopefully 100% of your questions. If you have other questions and you're not on Facebook, just send me an email. It's the easiest way to get your question answered. All right, some rule changes. I told you that I redid the rules, and so here are some rule changes. We created a new portable category. This is for the POTA activators. We heard a bunch of people growling last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, about, hey, you've got a rover and you've got a mobile, but you don't have something portable. So we made it portable, and we removed all the other categories. What does this new category look like? So we condensed rover and portable and made them into two separate categories. There's no, mobile and portable. There is no rover. Basically, in a nutshell, if you're going to make QSOs while you're in moving between two locations, you are mobile. If you are going to set up, operate, get in the car, drive to another location, set up, operate, drive to another location, you are portable. Okay? I also had somebody in Slark ask me, well, what if I have all of my antennas on my car and I'm just going to drive into a park, into a POTA, operate, and then turn the engine back on and drive to a new location? You're portable. If you're going to make QSOs while in motion, which a lot of people do, so they'll get a driver, right? They'll have a screwdriver antenna, somebody will drive, and they will do CW or single sideband as they're rolling down the road. That is mobile, okay? We also created a rule about 80 and 40 meters. I'm sure that you guys that have operated in Missouri QSO Party before, a lot of people don't get on 40 meters until like 3, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So what we did was we decided to encourage people to get on 40 and 80 meters. You wouldn't believe how clear 80 meters is during the day. It's like talking on FM. And it's all in state, it's all local. So if you make a contact on 40 or 80 meters during the hours of 9 a.m. and 3 p.m., oh, I didn't put the time in there, sorry. Between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. on Saturday or Sunday, we're gonna add another point to the total of your final score up to 250 bonus points, okay? That's encouraged. It's to encourage you guys to get on 80 and 40 during the day.
Let's say I'm out working mobile.
Yep.
Going to different counties and whatnot. If I'm working all the other counties in Missouri, am I gaining points from that?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm in the Missouri QSO Party. I think the point is really the other states.
No.
Okay.
No. You want to work everyone.
Because I could then.
Yeah.
Possibly make
So maybe I didn't make that clear. So let me clear that up. If you're going to be in Missouri, your goal is to work all of the other Missouri counties and all of the other states and all of the other Canadian provinces, okay? If I cross the river over into Illinois and operate from there, the only people I can work are the people in state.
In Missouri.
In Missouri, correct, yeah.
But do you allow POTA and
Yeah.
Missouri QP at the same time?
Yeah, I encourage it.
So they could work POTA out state, right?
Yes, yeah, you could work POTA out of state,
Yeah.
Yeah, I encourage you guys to go and do a POTA and call CQ POTA and call CQ MLQP or CQ contest.
I've heard it before.
Yeah, do it. Boost your score up. Get as many QSOs as you can. Use POTA as a catalyst whenever people are not calling you for Missouri QSO Party.
Is it fair to say that the QSO parties were born from the county hunters nets that used to exist?
I don't know. Joe, do you know where QSO parties came from versus county hunters? I don't know.
I knew a guy who used to work all state QSO parties. He actually worked every county, and there's like 3,000.
Yeah,
Three
yeah,
thousand
He did
seventy.
it twice.
yeah. There's some dude that, there's a County Hunters Forum at Dayton every year, and it's on Sunday.
It's called Merrick.
Merrick.
M-A-R-I-C,
Where that came
Mobile
from.
Amateur Radio, something.
Because, you know, every weekend you had different states on.
Right,
You can do it in a year.
yeah, what's that, Joe?
I'm just commenting on county hunters may be where this came from originally, because of course, there are a lot of counties out there where there are no hands in the counties.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Guys would go for them.
Yeah, that is totally, I don't know where it came from. I know that the Missouri QSO Party was born, like, I think 2001 might have been the first Missouri QSO Party. So it's relatively young, you know, in the grand scheme of things. Considering that the oldest contest is sweepstakes, and that's 30s, something like that. 34 or 37 was the first sweepstakes contest. So it's relatively young, you know, the Missouri QSO Party. But yeah, there's some dude, I don't know what his name is. He has both activated from every single county and worked every single county. It's crazy.
I think he's in Georgia.
He's in Georgia, and there's how many counties? 3,700?
77, either 70 or 77.
Jeez, good grief.
How many counties are in Missouri?
115.
Kyle, yeah, Joe, you remember Jim W0FF, Jim Glasscock?
Yeah.
This was years ago, we used to kid that he worked all countries, all counties, all states, and he was gonna work on all zip codes, but.
And don't forget, he activated Mosentine Island.
Is that right?
In the middle of
Jim Glasscock?
Mississippi.
I didn't know that, yeah.
Well, it was kind of a joke.
Yeah, you remember him too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He was a
Yeah.
captain.
We're-
W0FF.
Yeah.
I knew a guy down, sorry, I can't remember his call, it was down in St. Genevieve. He was on his third time around working counties, and I figured, get me up beside the head, and I started doing that.
Is that Larry, N0TPP?
No, it wasn't TPP. This
Okay.
is, I think he's Silent Key now.
There's a guy in Sykesville, his call is W0RMS, and he's got his license, he's played with
counties
worms.
around the country.
Joe, I'll talk a little Joe trivia here. He is a Fred Fish award winner. He has worked every single grid square in America on 6 meters, right?
Yeah,
Which is, how many Fred Fish awards people are there?
they're up in the 30s now. There's been a lot of guys, it's gotten a lot easier, because a lot of guys are going out and operating portable, but they're using FT8
Yeah.
for some of the visual modes.
What number are you? Do you?
11.
11.
Man, do you do it with SSB?
Well, I had 30-some years to work on it.
Did you used to live in Florissant?
No, I live in Chesterfield.
Okay, because there's another guy who did it. He's got a Fred Fish.
Oh, really?
I don't know his call, I forget his name.
Mark, KM0A, I think he was number 4.
Oh, yeah, Mark is, yeah, he's number 4, yeah. So, okay. Okay, back to the rules. Back to the destruction that I'm making on the rules. So we also noticed that every year there were only like 2 or 3 people that operated mobile. And the mobiles are what put all of the counties on the air. There's no way that we're gonna be, I would love to, but there's no way that we're gonna get a fixed or an expedition station lighting up every county in Missouri. The mobiles and the portables are the people, the operators that put all of the counties on the air. Well, a majority of the counties on the air. So, in order to get more mobiles and portables out there and call in CQ, we decided that if you make 50 QSOs, just like a POTA, but times 5, if you make 50 Qs in a county, you get the mult for that county. Now, this does not count for working counties. The plaque, we have a plaque for the operator that makes a QSO with the most amount of counties in Missouri. That 50 QSOs or that multiplier does not count for that. So you actually have to make a QSO with the county in order to get the point, or the county point to get that plaque.
Explain the multiplier again?
So if you make, so let's say you drive to Lincoln County and you gotta make 50 QSOs, and let's say you, if you make 50 QSOs from that county, you get the multiplier for that county,
Okay.
okay?
But do you have to make one within the county too?
No,
Okay.
no.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
So you know how you get the Fred Fish Award you talked about? How about a Ward Silverman Award? N0AX, because he did all counties in Missouri within like 5 years, I want to say.
Yeah,
And the Boeing Club gave him a plaque because he was the first one to finish
oh,
all the counties in that limited amount of time.
yeah, we can, well, you should see what his route's gonna be this year. They're gonna do something like 38 counties.
Yeah, he was truly mobile. He's got a driver.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Okay. We also brought the submission time down to 15 days. A lot of the major contests, that submission time is 7 days. So it was 30 days for Missouri QSO Party. We brought that down to 15 days so we can get this thing scored and we get the results out and get the plaques out and the certificates out. My goal, I'll show you, I've got a pretty hefty goal to get this thing done and start working on 2027. Also, they had a rule in there that allowed people to submit paper logs. No more paper logs. We're in 2026. You can submit Cabrillo file. If you can't submit a Cabrillo file and you have a paper log, contact me. There is a piece of software called Fast Log Entry that you can get it converted to a Cabrillo file, but I'm not in the mood to accept any paper logs. So that's what we did. Let's talk about 1x1s. So the 1x1s, I don't know when they implemented the 1x1s. I think it was like maybe 7 or 8 years after the birth of the Missouri QSO Party. But anyway, we have reserved people in Missouri have reserved every single 1x1. So like K0, you can see the matrix, K0H, K0S, K0O, K0W. So these are going to be calling CQ during the course of the Missouri QSO Party. And if you spell show me or Missouri, you'll be eligible for a certificate. So you just log them as a regular call and put it in their log. And then whenever we go through the log, we'll see what letters you have. And if you spell Missouri or show me, you'll get a certificate. I came up with this matrix of modes because we were having a bunch of complaints where like K0S, N0S, and W0S, for example, were all CW operators. And the single sideband people were complaining because they didn't know CW that they weren't able to get a show me or Missouri certificate. So I made suggestions, and then I went through the years prior to everyone who has kind of had a 1x1 year after year, and it just worked out this way that a lot of the people that were in the CW, this light on a CW, they worked CW. So we didn't have a lot of changes with people that have 1x1s year after year, but I think we do have a good mix. So if you're a CW operator only, you should be able to spell Missouri and show me this year. If everyone gets on the air, we have had people sign up for 1x1s and then they only make 20 QSOs. So if we get everyone on the air, they make hundreds and hundreds of QSOs where I'm requesting, and they stick to their mode, we shouldn't have any problem with spelling show me or Missouri.
Can you do mixed mode too?
Yeah, you can do digital. Yeah. Also, again, there's K0I is still available. If you go to the Missouri QSO Party homepage and go to request a 1x1, it'll tell you instructions on how to request one. Bonus stations, you get 100 points if you work the bonus stations. W0MA is going to be located at Boeing at their headquarters. They're a bonus station. K0GQ, they're going to be operating from Missouri. Now, I understand that last year, W0MA didn't make a very good showing, and K0GQ, who knows what happened to them? They were not on the air. I have called both their trustees and their presidents and some people in the club, and they have guaranteed me that K0GB is going to, or GQ, sorry, is going to make a effort to put that station on the air, and they're going to make hundreds and hundreds of QSOs. And I told them if they didn't make at least 300 or 400 QSOs, they're out. And they understood that because they self-identified that they were lacking in participation. So, W0MA, from what I understand, Sterling N0SSC, N0SO, W0TT, bunch of guys, they're gonna go up there on Saturday and operate. I don't know what the operating schedule is for Sunday, but I even might go up there and operate. See if I can get into the classified area to operate there, but see if I can get a visitor pass. But W0MA will be on the air. Also, it counts as a wild card for spelling Missouri or Show Me. So if you work both those, you can insert that as a wild card if you don't get all of the letters for Missouri or Show Me. Okay. So before the contest, we have a Claim Your Counties map. It's in version 1.0. We scrapped the old one. The old one was not good, got hacked a couple of times. So we came up with this one. AI is great. Just put in what you want and it spits out some code. So we created this one on OpenStreetMap. If you go in and click on your route, like if you're gonna do a route, you can click on the route and then you can put your call sign in there and save your route, and it will just show what you're activating. Obviously the goal for this year is to get all of the counties on the air. This was taken a couple days ago. We've got Warren, Lincoln, and Pike County left to activate. But if you click on that tabular listing, it'll show all of the counties and who's activating all of them.
Is there any GPS or any way to know when you're actually within the county boundary?
Yes. Well, I'm sure that there's an app to tell you when you're in the county boundary, but I've got more on that. Hold your question.
Okay.
What was I gonna go with this? Oh, so we've got a bunch of plans. We're gonna do route tracking with this map. We're gonna do more where you're at, and maybe we're gonna create an app where it'll track and actually put pins on this map on where you're at, based on some things, kind of like what Kevin has done for his APRS stuff for bicycle tracking. So we've got a whole bunch of things that we're thinking about doing. They've created this for all of the state QSO parties, but this was born in St. Louis, if you can believe that. This is an APRS tracker. If you have an APRS radio in your car, you can put MOQP in the status message and then the frequency, and it will automatically place you on this map. Now, I don't do that because digipeaters and iGates are few and far between, but what you can do is you can download APRS Droid on your phone or APRS TX on Apple, and you can, inside that program, you can put MOQP in the text or in the status message and your frequency, and then your pin will pop up here on the APRS map. So let's MOQP. IP. So I'll show you real quick. Go to links, live APRS tracker. So this is APRS tracker. Why is the internet so slow here? And then I'm going to get into APRS here, if I can find it. What is going on? The wireless absolutely sucks here. And I work here. What is going on?
Sounds like you need to fix it.
It's my network team, that's what it is. I mean, like, I don't understand why the guest wireless is just so slow here. Let me turn on the hotspot. Because I want to show you guys this. This is pretty cool. Come on, there it is. See if this will be any slower.
Doc, could it be because everybody's phone is connected to guest?
No. It is because what happens is if you take a look at our stats here, the guest wireless takes a hit at 6 p.m., 7 p.m. because all of the guests come in. And then all of the babies that are born, everyone wants to stream and do Facebook and video chat and whatnot, so it just inundates our wireless. And if you wanted to know some stats, we have every month here at BJC, we have right at 400,000 unique devices that get on our network.
Wow.
Every month.
Wow.
400,000 unique devices. Granted, we have
3 of those at work.
yeah. We have 35,000 employees that work at BJC, and last count, we had just less than 1 million devices on our network. So,
Do they have good cell service?
yeah, we put DAS repeaters in all of our hospitals. Yeah. Okay. Well, that was a major fail. Okay. So anyway, if you enter an MOQP in your phone, it will track you and put a pin on that map. So one of the things that you can do is you can, if you're a mobile, I encourage you to use this, and then we can track what county you're in, and then know that, we need to go and contact you for the QSO party.
Or if I'm portable?
Portable, yeah. Do it portable and mobile.
So how do I get myself off the map while I'm traveling?
No, you wanna beacon the whole time. We wanna see you travel.
Oh, so it'll show me moving.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be sitting at my contest station, and I'm gonna see you traveling across, let's say, Lincoln County, and I'm gonna see you going up to Pike, and then once I see you in Pike, I'm gonna start looking for you.
Yeah, I seen some of that with the APRS you were talking about
Yeah.
a year or 2 ago.
Yep.
And it was just a handful of people doing it. But the question is, will this spot me?
No. So you have to. That is version 2.0 of our map.
Okay.
Right. So that brings me into the next thing. Self-spotting is allowed. So this QSO Party Hub website, that's kind of like a conglomerate somebody put together of all of the spotting services for all of the state QSO parties. You can self-spot. So I would encourage, even if you're expedition or you're fixed, go out and spot yourself. Tell people where you're at. Once you get spotted and people start to see, you call in CQ, you're gonna have a rush of people contact you. Another thing that we have created, I started doing this a couple of years ago, kind of caught on. Some people do it, a lot of people don't, is get on 80 meters at the top of the hour. So at 55 minutes and at 5, between those 10 minutes, call CQ on 80 meters. Get on 3830, 3840, single sideband, call CQ. That is prime time to grab some counties.
Close in.
Yeah. Don't forget to use 40 meters during the day for those bonus points. look for mobiles, using the APRS tracker. Another tip is if you're gonna roam, and I understand that it's gonna be hard for single sideband because there's other QSO parties that are going on, and POTA and everything else that goes on in the bands, but try and use the same frequency. Whenever you are rolling through a county, try and use the same frequency while you're operating that day. It'll be easier for you to be found. And then also, if you're gonna do POTA and you're gonna set up, try and use the same frequency so we can find you easily on every single activation, or every single county that you activate. I understand that it's pretty hard to do that, especially on single sideband, but it's a little tip on finding people easily.
And again, the spotting network, you used DX Summit or?
No, use the QSO Party Hub.
Okay.
Yeah. Now you can spot on DX Heat, DX Summit, all of those, AR cluster and the other cluster, they don't replicate with one another, but all of the other, if you spot on one, you'll hopefully get on this other ones. I don't truly understand it, how some replicate and some don't, but you can spot there. Actually, I would probably encourage you to spot there too, because not everyone that is, if New Hampshire is looking for people in Missouri, they might not know about this QSO Party Hub, and they're looking for you on the spotting network, yeah. So after the contest, and keep in mind, whenever I talk about, these before the contest, during the contest, after the contest, they kind of apply to other contests too. Now, if, like this weekend, there is a category called assisted or non-assisted. You can go out and call CQ and be in the assisted category. That means that you are spotting actively out in the bands. Non-assisted, or you're being spotted. Non-assisted means that you're not using spotting assistance whenever you're calling CQ or whenever you're searching and pouncing. So again, read the rules. In Missouri QSO Party, you can spot yourself and you can spot other people. So just be aware that there's assisted and non-assisted in some of the categories on some of the bigger contests.
How do you confirm that?
You don't, it's all in the honor system. Yep. So after the contest, you want to download your log from your contest logger in Cabrillo formats. Submit your log to MOQP. So there's the home page that you can get to that home page through the home page of Missouri QSO Party. There's a portion in the Cabrillo file called Soapbox where you can put your comments about maybe all the counties you hit, maybe some of the issues that you ran into, something quirky about the contest. Maybe you want to put some comments about the band conditions that you experienced. So you can put that in the Soapbox. We ask that if you have any pictures to submit them to the Facebook group. And then there's a 3830 scores. That's basically just, you can go in there and post your score that you just, your final score. Now that might not be your final score with the adjudication, but it's a good place for people to post their score to see kind of how you did among your peers or the people that are in the same category as you. And we'll take a look at that in here in a minute. Also, there is a online scoreboard website that you can configure all of the major loggers for, and it uploads your active score, your current score, like every couple of minutes. And that is on, if you just type in online contest scoreboard, it'll take you to that website, and it is all in real time. So maybe if we can get the internet back up, we'll take a look at, because the big worldwide CQ contest just started, and you'll be able to see them. And then also watch the Missouri QSO Party homepage after the contest for scores and updates. So this is the homepage for 3830 scores. So the Missouri QSO Party will pop up in that yellow part. You click on that, and then it will take you to a form. You can put your score in, put any comments, and then at the end, after you submit it, it's gonna look like this with all the categories broken out and what people have submitted as their score in 3830. These are scores that people have submitted to say, this is my score. It's not final, but it's a good place to figure out how well you did in your category. You know, you don't have to submit the score. So, you know, if somebody made a ton of QSOs and you might be first place on this website, but whenever we adjudicate the scores, you might, you know, not be first place because somebody sent in a log that had more QSOs and more points than you.
I was gonna say, the first liar doesn't have a chance.
The what?
The first liar doesn't have a chance.
Right, yeah. A few more slides here. You got logging programs. So N1MM is kind of like the granddaddy of all logging programs, but it's complex. It is free, so you can download it, and it's free of charge. There's a lot of people that on the back end program bugs. It's got a lot of bugs, but they fix them, they squash them. There is an update almost every Tuesday of every week, updating contests. So if you do download N1MM, be sure and update it every time that you open it so you get the latest and greatest. There is a lot of documentation out on the website. There's a lot of great YouTube videos on how to set up N1MM, but it is complex. N3FJP is a lot easier. It's $60 though, which I don't think that's a big price to pay. Yeah, and it's one time. Yeah, Max, it's one time. Good point. And they have great support. N1MM, the only support you're going to get is basically a mailing list if somebody decides to respond to you. And then DXlog, it's free. It's kind of looks like it was programmed in the 90s, because it was. And it's got some medium, it's halfway between N1MM and N3FJP. It's looks pretty old, but you know, it does the trick, but it does have some good documentation. So
Logbook of the world.
Logbook of the world, there is, you can upload all of your contacts to Logbook of the world. They're contacts, right?
Not for contesting.
Well, you can do it. You can upload them for contests. Now, are you going to get a lot of them confirmed? Do a lot of contesters upload to Logbook of the World? Some of them do, some of them don't.
If you're looking for, if you're trying to achieve county honors, you know, get the maximum number of counties. I think I made a mistake when I uploaded contacts when I was mobile, where so you know TQSL, where you use that program to upload to Logbook of the World. You either, I think within your log that you're uploading, you have to go to, there's a field in there called My County. You
Yeah.
have to fill that in with the correct county where you made that contact.
Yeah.
And then when you upload that file, you have to go check a box out of TQSL that says ignore my address.
Yeah.
And go with the county that's in the log in this file.
Yeah. If you do, so did you hear that, Art? So it basically, I haven't uploaded lately to Logbook of the World, but if you're making QSOs in different counties, you can't use your home address, as that's where you made the QSO from.
Oh, okay.
So, if you're roving, right, and you're making QSOs in 15 different counties, should you go and make a location for every single county, you know, that you make a QSO in?
You can do that. You can do that.
Yeah, you can do that. Am I telling you to do that? Of course.
Yeah. Thank you.
But programs like N3FJP they write that information into the log.
Oh,
In my
gotcha.
opinion,
Yeah.
if they're configured. But you gotta tell TQSL
Oh,
to
gotcha.
look at the log for the county.
Got it. Yeah. I don't use Logbook of the World. Shame on me. But yeah, that was my experience. I'm glad that they fixed it.
Are you sending out QSL cards? Or-
No, I don't do any of that stuff.
Ah.
No. I'm one of those.
Do one or the other.
Yeah, I'm. If you send me a QSL card, I'll send you one back. How about that? I do that, but I don't do actively send QSOs.
Yeah.
Yep. A few more slides and we'll be done. So here's the timeline. So every contest out there has got a timeline on whenever they try and adjudicate scores and send out plaques, and you'll find that if you get into contesting and you work QSO parties, this one of my pet peeves is a lot of the QSO parties, they won't send plaques out or announce scores or even adjudicate the scores until months and months and months after the actual event. Drives me insane. So I'm not gonna do that for Missouri QSO Party. We are, and whenever I say months, I mean, they don't send plaques out until like the month before the next QSO party. So I ain't doing that. So basically, logs are due 15 days after the contest ends. I'm gonna go through the logs with Mike in 0SO. We're gonna adjudicate the logs. We're gonna find out how to contact people if they make mistakes, I'm gonna contact them. If you get an email from me and say, hey, I'm trying to get a hold of you to make sure that the county or the category that you put was actually the category that you entered in or you wanted to enter in because your log said something different, and if you don't get back to me in a couple of days, you're going as a check log. I'm not dealing with it. In previous years, they would let that linger on for months and months and months, and I'm just not dealing with it. So you'll go in as a check log. Check logs get no certificates, they don't get awards, they don't get eligible for anything. So we're gonna get the results out in 30 days, plaques to be mailed in 45 days to 60 days, certificates are gonna be available for download in 60 days. So this thing's gonna be all done by June. And then we're gonna ramp up for 2027. If you're looking to sponsor a plaque, so we've got a lot of plaques this year because of the extra categories, more on that, but they're $60 a piece. I'll be asking the club. Suburban here, they sponsor 2 plaques, the rookie, and I think highest number of counties worked.
Sure. We send them a check every year.
Yeah, thank you. And then we'll migrate the database during the summer. So here is some stats, some quick stats. So the goal this year is to get 400 submitted logs. We had a high of 461 during COVID, and then it has dropped off. We had a little surge in 2024, but we only had 355 in last year. So the goal is to put it over 400 and keep it over 400. I would love to see 500 this year, but I understand that people have things going on. Also, trying to get all the counties activated, trying to get a record number of mobiles out there, and then you can see that like Missouri, certificates were only 20 last year, and Show Me were 128. I'm trying to get that to 150 Show Me and 50 Missouri certificates. If you're wondering who the top top counties activated last year, Montgomery, Jackson, St. Charles City, Cass. I don't know who was in Cass last year. 1,700 QSOs. It's quite a bit. St. Louis County, Osage, Crawford, Cole, and Monroe were the top. And then you can see there's a bunch of counties here that had 0. Bolivar, Cape Girardeau, which was odd. That's a big,
Yeah.
it's a big,
Last year.
what?
The flooding.
Oh yeah, you're
Everyone
right.
had to bail.
Yeah, all of the rain that came, right?
We had to bail on our Texas County activation because we couldn't get down to the farm.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hopefully it'll be good weather. Oregon, Perry, Reynolds, Scott, Wayne, Prescott, Stoddard, Mississippi. There's a ton of those counties in the southern part that just didn't get activated last year. So the future, we talked about FT8, contest within a contest. The awards, the plaques, we're gonna reduce the plaques next year. The plaques are a pain in the butt to deal with. They are just an absolute pain. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna reduce the number of plaques. We're gonna make them goal-based. I like the working the plaque for the most amount of counties worked. I like that one. So maybe we're gonna stem off that and do more awards-based or goal-based awards versus category-based awards. So be looking for that. We're also looking about having some type of cash system. So like, let's say, you know, SLSRC gives us $100, and then we distribute that to a system where if you win a category or you win a prize, you'll get 50 points or 50 credits. And then you can go out to a website and you can get a tumbler or a shirt or a sweater that has your call sign, you know, engraved on it, and it says Missouri QSO Party on the back. And maybe that's 60 points, and you just pay $10, you know, to get whatever prize that you want, engraved prize with your call sign on it. But, you know, we'll give you $50 or 50 points, 50 tokens to buy a tumbler or buy a shirt, or, you know, based on what we think is appropriate. So we're looking at that too. Certificates, we're gonna redesign the certificates. I think that there's a buck on this one, or, you know, it has some wonky stuff on it. So we're gonna redesign their certificates, make it more updated, more 2027 looking. And then, again, we're looking for a sponsor for the Missouri QSO Party for next year. Tips and tricks, last slide here. How to win a plaque. So I took a look, see these bottom activated counties? Some of these counties are always not activated. So hopefully this year we're going to put these counties on the air, but if you're looking to maximize the number of QSO points, go activate a POTA in one of these counties that doesn't get activated. You'll be popular real quick. Study the high scores in all the categories. So take a look at years past and see what it takes to win that category. And then you'll have a goal on what you think you probably need to hit or make to win that category. And then portables and, yeah, Joe.
Question about POTA, Kyle. I thought it was only national parks you can do. I mean, if you wanted to go out to, say, Greensfelder, that counts?
No. So the POTA is federal and state owned only, not county owned.
So the Arch would count. But
Yep. The Arch would count.
Greensfelder does not.
So in the last year or maybe year and a half, they have added, at one time, I looked at the map and there was like 450 POTA locations in Missouri. Now it's like 500, and actually it was like 300. Now there's like 500.
Okay.
There is, so basically any conservation area is a POTA, any national park, any state park, any wilderness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe even state memorials.
Yeah, state memorials. You know, there's a whole bunch now. There is a really cool website. It's like POTA map. It's not the POTA website. It's some dude made a website that literally drills down into where the map is or the boundaries are for each POTA site. So if you get on Google and type in POTA map, there'll be a few of them. There's one that's really good that you can really drill down and it'll show you where the boundaries are. Also, I went mobile a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, and I found that I had a route, but it took me longer than expected. So if you think that you're gonna spend 30 minutes at each location, you're not gonna spend 30 minutes in each location. You're gonna spend 45, 50 minutes in every location. Especially if you're running and you gotta pile up, it's very hard to say, hey, I gotta stop and I gotta go to the next county. It's very hard for you to do that. I mean, if you got discipline, you can, but I found it hard. So your route is going to take longer than you expect. Unless you're just driving through the county and making QSOs mobile, on the run, and that's just the way it is, then you probably won't have, you're just on the road. But if you're gonna stop, it's gonna take you longer. Also, if you have a route and you're not gonna make it to all the counties, put on the spotting page, hey, this is my last county, in the comments section. Or get on Facebook and say, last county. So we know the people that are hunting you and chasing you, we know that you're gonna be at your last county. Or maybe you're gonna skip a county and you're gonna go, the next county over because you have to, get to your Airbnb, or, you gotta get home or whatnot. And you're gonna go over to the next county. Let people know on the spotting network or on Facebook, or maybe on the APRS comment that you're in your last county.
The merit group has a spotting system that they can say where they're going and.
This is the merit group?
Yes.
What is that? I don't know what that is.
Mobile amateur radio, the county hunters group.
Oh, the county hunters.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yes, they do have a spotting network. That's a good idea. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. So how do you get to that
I
website?
can send you the link.
Yeah, send me the link and I'll put it on the homepage. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, good one. Yeah, oops. Okay, yeah, we'll get it figured out. And then you said APRS tracker. That thing is really cool. It helped people trying to figure out where the mobiles were at and the portables and the rovers last year. The thing was really helpful. So. That is all that I have. I know that I was MOQP heavy, but a lot of the things that pertain to Missouri QSO Party pertain to the big contest too. Like the main thing is read the rules, understand the exchange. Sometimes whenever you get on the air and you want to work the contest real fast, you'll hear 2 or 3 different exchanges and you're like, oh crap, which one should I use? I don't know which, I don't know what the exchange to use. And then whenever you call CQ or you're answering somebody and they're not patient with you on trying to get the correct exchange out of you, phooey on them. They should be patient with you to be like, oh, what state are you in? Or what's your ARL section? Or how much power are you running? Or anything like that. They should be patient with you. But if you're going to participate in the contest, I would encourage you, read the rules, listen on the air for a while if you're not 100% sure what's going on. The first 3 or 4 hours of a contest are absolutely crazy. But you can usually tune in somebody that is clear that you can hear and just hear them run stations and hear what their cadence, the tone that they're using, the way that they're working operators, and that will clue you in on being a good operator and not being frustrated and making it an enjoyable experience. So, and then also be sure and submit your log. You never know when who else is not submitting their log. I have literally submitted my log for the state of Missouri or the Midwest and made 10 QSOs and won a prize. So you have no idea who is not submitting a log, and you think, oh, there's thousands of people on, and I submitted my log, made 10 contacts, got a prize. So you never know. Always submit your log. So.
Power limitations?
You have to read the rules.
Okay.
Yep, have to read the rules, because there's single operator high power, single operator low power, multi-op, unlimited. It all depends on the categories.
Okay.
So, all right, that's all I had. Thank you.